Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody?
Good, it's Monday. Yeah.
Yay! I am, if you can't tell, recovering from an illness. Hopefully, I'm recovering. So, excuse me if I cough. Um, Welcome to Monday Morning Business Foreplay. I am excited. Today we have Mark Lane, the CEO of EcoYork, and he is going to talk to us about all the different ways that AI can help our businesses, our small businesses. So, Mark, you want to give us a little intro to you? And I will start too by saying that Mark and I go back probably almost a year, probably, that we've known each other. And we met through networking. We networked together on multiple platforms, which is kind of fun. I
Yep,
think at least on Carl Lucci and Lunch with Lynn. Are you on NRG as well?
I am.
Three platforms we network on together.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a great start and a great little plug for us networking after this meeting. We'll be holding caffeinated conversations, which is a networking that Nicole and I are just starting. So make sure that you stick around for that. Networking is truly where it's at. Mark, you have done some work for me with my Google business profile.
yep.
You were my knight in shining armor in the midst of chaos, right? When I needed that helping hand, you were definitely there for that. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Give us a short intro.
Yeah, thanks, Colleen. Yeah, so networking is definitely key here. I think that's the big thing. That's how I'm the reason I'm here actually. But I have a little bit of background on me. So I have a bachelor's degree from Penn State. I've been in business since I've owned EcoYork since 2009. But I've owned four businesses over my career, so I have a lot of small business experience. Um, Before AI was popular, I started my business by doing custom software. So I worked with businesses on how to automate things, how to make things a little bit more efficient. We developed different solutions for different industries and those types of things. So now that AI is here, it definitely gives me the opportunity to share some tools that I've utilized over the years, or over the past year and a half here, while it's gotten really popular. So today I have a tool that I'd like to share with you guys to kind of automate things. It has a little bit to do with networking, I think, as well give Colleen a little plug with her GoHighLevel as well. So I don't know if you want me to share my screen and go right into it, or
You know what? I wanted to tell you that Tammy and Wood is in the comments on LinkedIn, and
okay.
she's giving you kudos too. So, if you do not know Mark, then now is probably a really good time for you to get to know him. Yeah, go ahead and dive in.
Awesome. Let me share my screen here. So the fun thing is, of course, I knew kind of what tool I wanted to present today and share with you guys, but I don't do a lot of presentations, just to be transparent. So creating a Google PowerPoint or a presentation kind of on the fly when I was asked last week was not something that I felt I could fit into my schedule real quick. So of course I utilized AI to kind of help me put things together and then polished it up. So today here I'm going to go over a tool that I found. So this is highlighting GoHighLevel and LinkedIn, but there's a tool that you can actually connect the two together. Um, I'm sure a lot of us business owners and small business owners are familiar with LinkedIn. We're out there trying to connect with like-minded individuals to grow our network there, promote ourselves, those types of things. So there's a tool today that I'm going to mention and go over a little bit. It's called Closely. So let me just kind of go over here. The big idea really with AI is not to replace your team. Your team is your asset. If you don't have a team behind you, helping you implement these different ideas and the different tools that I might present today, it's going to be a lot harder for you to continue to grow. AI can't fully automate everything within your business. It can't take over everything. There still needs to be somebody there. So like with our team, we develop software. So we use a couple tools. I won't go into them today, but we use tools to help us implement certain things within the software to make us more efficient. That's really the big thing here with when it comes to custom software, when it comes to AI, automation in general. It's all about being more efficient in your business. It's not replacing individuals. there's a lot of people that will say, well, AI is going to replace these different people in the industries, and it will. It'll replace certain things, but you have to adapt. That's the whole thing. When if you're a small business owner, you understand adapting to new technologies, those types of things. So if you don't adapt, that's where you're going to become extinct. I don't know if that's a Carl Lucci quote or not. I feel like it came from him. But anyway, this is just to basically reiterate that the tools that I'm going to present and other things like that, it's not about replacing, it's about trying to automate and save you guys more time to be more efficient in your business. If you can run things automatically and systemize them, you can spend more time with your family, you can go on vacations, your team can have time off to decompress. You can exercise, take care of your health, those types of things. Those are all important because if none of those things happen, you end up burning out and you end up getting nothing done. So here today, I'm going to mention closely. So I found this because I am trying to build my network in certain industries to try to get more connections. But I don't have time to sit on LinkedIn all day and just continually try to connect with people or send them personalized messages. I'm also utilizing GoHighLevel, which I started using early last year. I will say, because I think there was a question yesterday after Coleen posted this on LinkedIn, somebody had asked whether or not you should set up systems or if like a GoHighLevel or things like that, or if you should go into trying to improve the processes. I think that was around the question that they asked. My take on it is I think that you need to figure out exactly what you plan to do. So put a plan together with your team. Figure out who's going to help take care of what. Because the problem is once you set up a CRM, if you don't use it or leverage it or maintain it, the data is just going to sit there. Your leads are not going to get followed up on. Even if you automate certain things, there still needs to be a point where I think somebody needs to step in. So unless you have somebody helping you with that, I think that you need to kind of focus on both at the same time, but I think you still need to set the framework in general. So this is GoHighLevel, basically serves as the brain for your operations. So Colleen, I'm sure you've done presentations on this at this meeting here, where you've talked about the benefits of GoHighLevel and the different workflows. There's different things that different businesses might use. They might not use everything in the suite of it. So you kind of have to look at it and see, okay, what do I need to automate? What do I need to improve on with in my business? And then go from there and implement those types of solutions. So LinkedIn, of course, everyone knows this brings a lot of opportunities to network with people that you might have never networked with before. You can meet decision makers through LinkedIn. You can search for different industries, different size companies. You can search for just different types of people that you might not have never connected with, whether you're working at home or you have a physical business location. One of the other companies that I own is an HVAC software development company. So we have 4 SaaS-based products. Basically what that means is people sign up for these SaaS-based products that help them improve the residential HVAC contracting company. And we have different tools for different things for those types of people. But I don't meet a lot of HVAC contractors in my day-to-day. I work from home. I have a contractor that comes to the house, so I have one connection there. But as far as the industry goes, I need to network online to meet these types of people. What better place to do that than LinkedIn here, where I can connect with HVAC and refrigeration manufacturing contractors across the whole United States. So that's what I did here is I did a filter basically in LinkedIn where I connected with those HVAC contractors. I pulled in a search and Closely has a little widget here that you connect into. I'm using Google Chrome, so they have an extension that basically connects right into it. And when you do certain, let me just refresh this page because this should come up here. I might have to sign into the assistant. Give me just a second here. Apologize.
No, you're fine, Mark. I think this is so interesting. I think it's good for you to show everybody how we can use this filtering system as well. So many things like this, I think that everybody just knows when in fact, some people may not know how to use that, even just the filtering system.
Yep. Yeah. And you can search for anything here. So you can actually search for, if you have a certain person that you're connected with on LinkedIn, you can connect with their connections and actually put that as part of your search as well. So this was just specific to a type of search that I'm trying to, a specific group of people that I'm trying to connect with here. Now that I logged into Closely, you can actually see there's an export here. So you can actually export these different searches within Closely into a CSV file. So if you wanted to import it and use it for any other kinds of activities, it does bring in, I think it's just their email information, their user profile, and details that they publicly shared on LinkedIn as what's available there. But let me show you a little bit about Closely itself. So this is what a campaign looks like. I won't go into each of the features in here, but I will show you the campaign section. Enrichment, just a high-level view of that. No pun intended there. But enrichment is to essentially connect with your connections or different searches that you've done within LinkedIn, or you can upload CSV contacts, those types of things. And you can actually find out their emails and use different AI related tools within their enrichment functionality within Closely, which is pretty cool. So that if you do only have their names and LinkedIn profiles, but you want to do a deep search and find out their emails or things like that, or what would be a good type of connection for me? Like maybe I have all of these people that I'm trying to connect with, but I'm not sure which ones are actually the decision makers. I can use the enrichment section here, and it ties in AI to actually give them scores based on the type of person that I'm trying to connect with. The campaign section here is pretty cool. I'm actually going to show you the builder. So this is building out a campaign. So the first thing that I
We
did.
can't see your screen, Mark.
I can see it, Nicole.
Let me reshare.
I can see it, Nicole.
Were you seeing the workflow here?
Yeah, I'm seeing the workflow. Nicole, are you not seeing? Is anybody else not seeing this?
Okay, I see it now.
I see it.
I see it.
Yeah, okay. Thank
Okay, yep, no problem. Sorry about that. So the first thing here is the search. So this is my HVAC industry connections. And you can create multiple campaigns within Closely. Let me just back up real quick. So the first thing here is this is actually doing what's called a warm-up mode. Basically, so one thing that I just want to mention is you want to be careful with the different tools that are out there with LinkedIn and automating connections and messages and things like that, because LinkedIn will flag your account if you go crazy. If you try to connect to 1,000 people in a day or something like that, they know that that's not normal activity and they will flag or remove your account. So you do want to be careful with the tools that you're using. And if there are kind of barriers that you can put in there, or what we have in here is warm-up mode, it'll kind of slowly try to make a certain number of connections each day. I think I have this where it only tries to connect to 5 people each day. And then as I go into the campaign here, you'll see I actually have a little bit of a pause between the different activities that I set up. If you guys have watched any other videos on workflows and things like that, this is pretty standard for how workflows are now in a lot of online automating systems. So I know GoHighLevels looks pretty similar to this. There's some other ones where it looks pretty similar to this kind of workflow. I think Zapier looks pretty similar to this as well. It's been about a week or two since I've been in there, but basically what you end up doing is you start your sequence. So this is the search that I just showed you. You can automatically put in the URL of the search, or you can actually do the searching within Closely as well. So it'll kind of walk you through the steps on how to do that. The first thing that I have is I have a view profile, because one of the things is before somebody connects with you, they want to see kind of who you are. So they'll probably view your profile. But if they see that you viewed theirs first, they might be more inclined to actually connect with you at that point. So that's kind of what I put in here. I put the first step of viewing a profile. The next thing that I did here is a connection request. So this is using some templated variables here that you can use. And I just put together a little message here on how to connect. I used ChatGPT to come up with this message. So that's another AI tool that I kind of threw in there today. But essentially all I did in there is I just said that I wanted to connect with HVAC companies. I'm also promoting, because I own the HVAC SaaS-based products, I'm also promoting our SEO, EcoYork, because we do offer SEO and those types of things. But I want to specifically connect with HVAC contractors to offer them SEO, because not only can we build them a landing page, we can help them rank their websites, but I can also offer them software. So that's a good industry for me to connect with. So that's another reason that I decided to use this. But that's what I asked ChatGPT, and it came up with this nice little short message. You can only have 250 characters, so you have to keep it short, but you still want it to be impactful. So that's some other keywords that I put into the chat tool. I waited a day until I did that after I viewed their profile. Then I wait 3 days, and if I'm connected, I liked one of their posts. So that's another activity that you can do. You can like a post on there. That way they see, okay, you've connected, you've liked a post. Now maybe as they see those connections come through, they see your name. Now they might actually read your message. So that's the third thing that I did here, is reading a message. So I basically just thank them for connecting. And then I mentioned about our load calc and a free SEO audit if they're interested. So I'm kind of throwing out a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of promotions in there as well in my connections. But at the same time, I'm not trying to oversell, or I'm not trying to say, hey, you have to buy this. I'm still offering them something free, just kind of a warm type of message so that they knew who I am and what we can offer. So that's just one thing that you can do within Closely. If you go to the integrations tab, and then you can see here, here's the different CRMs that it does connect with. So if you're not using GoHighLevel, you use HubSpot or Salesforce or Zoho CRM, you can connect those as well. You can connect multiple ones. And then when you go into the settings, this is where you go in and you actually map the different fields. One thing that I did in our GoHighLevel account is I created a LinkedIn variable here. So the LinkedIn here, I actually connected that to our contact source. I created a custom contact source so that I know that connection is coming from LinkedIn. And then I created another field for the LinkedIn URL and populated that as well. That way I can pull in all of the LinkedIn things. And the cool thing about this is it does connect to your inbox. So any messages now that I get within LinkedIn are now also connected into GoHighLevel. So all of my messaging and contacts and things like that are all on one platform then for me to continue to either market to or share free information, those types of things. So that's another reason I really liked this tool, is it was pretty affordable. It seemed like it was actually safe to connect with LinkedIn and automate some of those different things. And at the same time, it integrated directly with the CRM that I'm utilizing. That's why I thought that was pretty important.
So Mark, let me interrupt you for just a second. When you say it was pretty affordable, what do you deem affordable?
So this was about, I think if I did the yearly, let me just go to the upgrade here. So it's $49 a month if you use the starter. If you do annually, it's $29 a month, so $349 for the year. But I figure if I can make some pretty good connections through LinkedIn by automating some of those activities, and I get 1 or 2 really good connections there, that can pay for this type of automation.
Okay, and I think that probably when I'm looking at that, I feel like $2 to $3 a lead is a good. So if you're getting 10 good leads a month off of that, then that would probably be a good investment.
Yep, yeah, and you can do this. So I just showed you one campaign, but you can create multiple campaigns on here. So if you have different types of, if you're in multiple businesses or you're doing multiple things, you can create multiple types of funnels and things like that as far as your connections that come through, and then map those connections differently as well. In addition to this, it also helps with your the LinkedIn portion about getting messages there and having to constantly check LinkedIn for all those messages, and then automatically being able to filter them out through my spam tool was a huge time saver as well. So sometimes when I'm looking at tools and automations, I personally am not always just looking at trying to get business out of every single one of them or looking at that as a lead cost. I'm also trying to look at it as a time saver as well. So for me, it was a little bit of a mix of both of those things, I think, when it comes to this thing, because I was actually saving time by not having to check messages in two different places and those types of things. So it's different for every business, I think, on what tools you use. The one thing I would mention too, before I go to the next thing, is when you look at tools and costs, I think every beginning of the year, everybody kind of looks at their budget for the year and what they want to use. I think it's important to list all of that out. However you list that out, if you use ClickUp or another tool and you kind of make a full list every year, or your note-taking tools, make a list of all the tools that you're using and seeing if any of those could consolidate into one. This goes for plugins you have on your website, the whole way to software that you might be using as well. Because a lot of these software tools sometimes all cross over, and some of them you might actually find out that you're overpaying because you're not using the features of all these different tools that are out there. So
Okay, so before we move on, Mark, if you go back, open this campaign. I just wanted to see what the trigger was.
Yep.
And we don't want to get all nerdy on anybody, but if anybody has questions, please.
I do.
Okay, let's finish with this one and then you're next. And so where's your trigger is going to be?
So the trigger is actually the campaign search or the search results actually. So this search result URL that I had up is actually my trigger. It's up here in the top as the link.
So
Yeah, you can't see that as the actual trigger, but that's what started the campaign here.
Okay, and so you're not actually viewing the profile. The system is viewing the profile.
Correct. Yep.
The system is liking the post. The system is all of the things. And then I see down on your yes, no, that you have nothing on the no.
Correct. I didn't build this part out yet. I just started this a couple weeks ago. So I don't have the no section, but we're going to continue to build that out as well. But yes,
what that will look like?
I'm not 100% sure on that. That's why I haven't kind of gone through that part of it yet. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, Nicole, was it you that said you had a question?
So yeah, let me turn off this other stuff. When you're looking at this, so this is just like a trigger, or does it work like something like there's 101 things? Does it work like a Wallaxy tool where you're harvesting stuff? Or is it just trigger? So like a Wallaxy is like an AI that harvests leads, right? You have to integrate it into your LinkedIn. So can this, I know you're integrating this in some way where you're adding it to your LinkedIn, but does it work with that so you can do the lead gen without having to attach the tool? So you have all their information here, right?
Yeah, so the information that I have here is just the connection. So that's all this campaign right here that I have up is doing. The enrichment part that you're talking about, so that's actually this here. So this is different. I haven't built this out yet, but this is essentially what your something that you might actually build out to find the email connections and things like that might not necessarily be in their profile. So if you're trying to find their email addresses and name and use that elsewhere, that's what the enrichment tool would end up being used for. This right here with this particular campaign that I just had up, all that's doing is looking at these search results. And instead of me clicking on connect and then typing a personalized note or a message, the system is actually automating all of that and going through the search result. So I'm trying to connect with certain individuals, and as this will refresh, so there'll be, as there's new people that come out in this industry or search result, it'll continually go out there and try to connect with that specific type of person based on their profile.
Oh, okay. So does it work like kind of like everybody's using the Mighty Network tool, right? So there's businesses that are building on this. So
Yep.
does this work then like that, where you're connecting with people instead of going to that tool? This is a different tool that may work because that tool constantly breaks down.
So this is direct connections. So once the closely campaign has actually gone through, and say I did connect with Tabitha here, and say it automatically hit the connect, it likes her post, it views her profile, it sends her a personalized message, and then she accepts that request. Now she is part of my network. She's a connection on LinkedIn. I can send her messages, that type of thing.
Oh,
So
this
it.
makes sense then. Is this why everybody's just liking posts and nobody's commenting anymore? This is why LinkedIn has changed their algorithm and some sites have disappeared. There's thousands. I was one of them that got sucked into the LinkedIn and lost a profile for a second because people are adding all these bots. So now people who do connection and a human touch
Mhm.
don't have a chance with this. So this is why people are just there. Nobody's actually looking at your post then.
Right. Yeah. Not really. Now you can now the commenting is a different thing. I didn't add commenting into my campaign or automation thing like that. What I plan on doing probably is as I make stronger connections, that might be either a physical activity or somebody I use a VA for, or something of that sort, where I have somebody step in. So that's where these tools can help you bring strong connections together, help build a strong network, by automating some of that. And then, of course, you have a team member that, okay, now this is a strong connection. I've kind of flagged it as such maybe in my CRM. And now maybe I actually want to send a personalized message, that type of thing.
And so, Mark, are you going back and manually marking it as such in your CRM?
So I have that automated a little bit. I do have my team going through. So the way I have my team set up is all the leads that come through, they meet weekly, and they review all of the leads based on where they came from, and then just kind of glance at them and go through them and tag them accordingly based on
It
that.
is a manual tag.
And yep, so it is a manual tag, and it's a manual process because I think it's so important to review some of the connections that you have. I think you still have to have that personal touch. What this allows me to do, though, is now I'm not spending time, or I'm not having my team go out there and connect to 100 people in a month. All of that stuff is being automated based on certain people, because otherwise I'd have to go in here constantly and pick and choose and do that, and that's going to take a lot more time. But I'd rather have my team sit back, and as people accept my connections and they're real people, then go through and actually tag them and find me the person that I should be sitting down with and talking to them. So that's how I'm personally using it within our company. I think Carl has a question.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Mark, I might have missed this. You might have covered it, but you
Yeah.
said the software is actually going out and finding the post and liking the post, right?
Yep.
Okay, did you cover how you set the parameters of whether it's liked or not instead of just liking everybody?
I didn't set the parameters there. It's liking probably the last post that they have on their profile. I'm pretty sure you can dig that down a little bit deeper. I just haven't gone too deep into that.
Okay.
But yeah,
So
there's a
they're
lot.
just it's finding a latest post or whatever and liking it so that it gets the attention, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
it
got
comes up
you.
with their
Okay.
notifications, that kind of thing.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I kind of like this, kind of hate this, right? Because I like that. I mean, for somebody like me who's obviously trying to build their connections on LinkedIn, that would be a greater number of connections with less effort. But then that Gen X part of me is kind of like, I don't really care because I like keeping it old school. I like knowing my friends by name. I like building a business where I know my clients by name. Um, and I really like the personable part of it. And then it kind of makes me like a little weeby GB, like, okay, I'm going in and seeing who viewed my profile because I have LinkedIn Premium. I can go see who viewed my profile. Is it showing me their bots, or is it shows me just their name? Is it going to show me their name if it's a bot or a system like this doing it?
No, the way that this works, it's just going to show the profile of the person that's viewed it. So now you can dig this down. So I made this campaign is very generalized. because I'm not connecting with, I'm just connecting with a certain industry profession. You can break this down where you're connecting maybe with the second level. So if you have really strong connections on LinkedIn and you want to connect with who they're connected with, like say we want to connect with, I want to connect with everyone that Coleen is connected with or everyone that Carl's connected with, I could set up automations and things like that to connect with those types of connections as well.
I love that. I see that Allie has a question. Allie back.
Hey everyone. Yeah. I know what you mean, Coleen, and I haven't used it myself. I think it actually makes a lot of sense because, at the end of the day, it's not like all of the people we're gonna approach are gonna be, like great clients, and still we don't need to do some filtering, even if we approach to them really carefully and we really know a bit of what they are doing, and even if the process of reaching out is like a human and manual, even then we still have to do some filtering. I think it's more like opening more doors at the very beginning and then still do the filtering. As Mark was saying, there are clients that make a lot of sense to give it a bit more time, more personalization, understanding more what they're after. Like those are maybe high ticket clients, and it makes sense to spend more time on them. At some point, if you bigger reach, it's very hard to do it on our own, I guess.
You still good? I think there was some
That
background.
was so odd. I think we've got about 10 more minutes to do this before I ask you some questions. But I know we didn't dive through all your tools, but this is just very fascinating. Obviously, you were the right guest for today. So we'll go ahead and let you share. Do you have something you can share in 10 minutes?
Yeah. I mean, I just have a few more slides. They probably aren't that that crazy different than what we just kind of went through, but I'll just kind of quickly go through there. So this is, of course, the closely bridges the gap between the CRM. It has the direct integration with GHL, which I liked. Real-time messaging synced. You can actually turn that on and off. So the one thing I didn't mention, so you can actually have, if you have multiple GoHighLevel accounts, but different types of connections that you're making, you can actually filter them into different GoHighLevel CRM accounts as well, or whatever CRM that you're using that closely directly integrates with. So you can actually have those connections go into different CRMs based on that. And of course, the one lead export for contact enrichment. So that's a little bit about what Nicole had asked about as far as grabbing more information as far as their email contacts and things like that that might not necessarily be pulled in through this automation. You can do that through the enrichment section. It's just a little bit more about kind of what we already went through. There's a little bit more about the two-way sync, the different triggers that you can do. So of course, there's I didn't go into the triggers of GHL, but you can trigger automatic emails and sequences on that as well. So once you've made a LinkedIn connection, if their email has been populated, you could have GHL send a personalized type of message that way as well. If you wanted to further automate it and take it to another level, you can do that within GHL. And then this is just kind of a quick overview. So this is a little bit about what I think Allie was connecting with, is basically the idea behind this is there's a lot of people that we want to connect with and a lot of people that we don't know. So we can go out there individually and try to connect with the people that we know, and that's good. But there might be things or people in this specific search that I had up that I never would have been connected with before, whether that be networking or whatnot. But by having some of that automated, I now might get a message back from somebody in a specific position within the HVAC industry that now, oh wow, this is a really great connection. Like I want to start connecting with software partners in the industry. So another campaign that I might start up is people in the development or software side of people that are building software in our industry. and how I can connect with them. And I might automate some of that type of thing. It might be a smaller filter set, but I can automate some of those things without, and then have my team essentially review all those leads that come in at once rather than having to do both of those steps. Go ahead, Colleen.
Yeah, Mark, Edith on LinkedIn, Edith has a question. She said, is it possible to set a geographical area for the connections? I told her I believe so, because we're setting the filters through the LinkedIn search, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Anything that you can do in this search for LinkedIn, you can set that as parameters. So that all of the filters that you have in here, so whether that be if you just want United States or you want a certain city or state or whatever, you can filter all of those things in. The types of people, so whether it's a first connection, second or third, of course, all the industries. If you wanted to connect with people in specific companies, you can even filter it down to that level as well. If I only want to connect with people at Carrier or a certain type of company, I can do that in my search and campaign.
I love that. Thank you.
Yep. And then this is just a little bit about automation in general. You can do a lot with automation. You can do review management, content creation. We use that a lot. I use AI personally a lot to come up with ideas for different topics on either whether it be a presentation, YouTube short, just anything in general. If I want to do a commercial or promote something that week, or even share just industry knowledge, I might not be able to come up with the exact words myself, but I can at least use it to come up with the ideas to kind of gauge around that. The one thing that I will say about AI though in general is you have to have some intelligence when you're talking to it, because otherwise it's just it's that garbage in, garbage out. That's with anything. If you throw a bunch of mud at the wall and it doesn't stick, that's another Carl Lucci, I think, quote about and it doesn't stick, then it's not worth anything. Or I won't say the rest of it, but the missed callbacks though, you can do text backs and things like that within your CRM. And then the last thing here is the Google profile. I did a presentation for Coleen and the crew here, I think, at one point regarding your Google profile and different optimization techniques and things like that. The highlight here is GEO, so using specific keywords and descriptions. AI is a question and answer thing, just like Quora Answers or anything like that. Everyone's asking AI questions. So it's bringing back answers. So if your profile and your website and things like that are answering questions that people are asking, whether in your specific type of industry, you're going to help improve your Google business profile or your website and things like that. So answering these questions is going to help you come back in those AI results. That's just kind of high level overview of that. I could share a link here too. This is a free PDF that I think I shared in the last one. It's the same landing page that I had before, but it essentially allows you to get either our 25 must-do steps to rank higher, and then also this is just kind of a generalized Google Maps improvements tips type of thing. So I could share this link with Coleen if she wants to share it with everybody.
If you would just want to drop it in the chat, that would be great, Mark. I went ahead and dropped your contact information, your phone, your email, your physical home address so people can come visit. Okay, just kidding. Google didn't give me that. All righty. Are you
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? Either in on LinkedIn, YouTube, or here on this live. Go ahead and ask if you have any questions. Just turn your mic on. Any questions? I see no questions. All righty. Well, I've got questions. You know that happened. Are you ready for questions? Okay. So these aren't made to be comfortable. We know that. What's the one thing that everybody in the AI industry is doing that you think is complete BS, and why are they still doing it?
So I know this is popular and everyone's doing it. The whole meme thing with pictures and changing certain things. Of course, I'm guilty of trying it as well.
I like
But
the trending one right now. It's so cute though.
but I think it's a silly, it's an inefficient use of AI. AI does use a lot of energy. I think we all know that. And I think you have to utilize AI in for certain situations and certain types of things. Of course, we can all have fun with it too. But I think in general, you have to use it for the right things and in the right places. So if
Yeah.
you're creating 1,000 different uh, versions of yourself in AI with different hats every day or something, like I wear a hat, if I created an image of this as a caricature 100 times a day, that's an inefficient use of AI, but also my time, so
Right, right. I would agree. And I think for me that, excuse me, I think when people are trying to use AI to build relationships, and I say that in that they're creating content that would be more authentic if they just spoke it or just did it themselves instead of trying to get the polished version. Um, I think that is just not a good thing. We really just have to focus on being real. Okay, next question. What's a mistake that you made that cost you serious money or time that you kept making anyways because you were too proud or too scared to admit that it wasn't working?
So I built a software product, and I continued to work on it and tweak it into something that it really wasn't meant to be used for. So I paid the team over years to continue to try to optimize it and turn it into something, add scheduling into it when I didn't really want to get into scheduling with the tool as well. Ended up turning off the scheduling portion of that tool, but I probably wasted a lot of money doing that over the years. So
Yeah, and probably a lot of time, it sounds
Yep,
like.
yeah.
Okay, and if you could give one piece of advice to someone in just to an entrepreneur, but it would piss off half of your peers, what would it be and why is it worth the backlash?
So I know, so I don't know about one thing, but so a lot of people are using changing the name of SEO to GEO. They're just trying to focus on the AI component of ranking your website. The problem with some of these trends is people forget about the framework when it comes to certain things. SEO has a framework to it. There's structure behind your website. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that you're still going to want the overall structure of your website to be maintained and optimized. GEO, as far as the way that we look at it, is essentially an add-on. We add components into our SEO plans that help you rank in AI by implementing GEO tactics and things like that. I got on a very interesting podcast 2 weeks ago that we kind of dove into that a little bit, but luckily all three of us kind of were in the same framework as far as that's concerned. But in a lot of SEO companies that turned into GEO are not in that mindset.
Okay, so um, SEO made sense to me. AEO, which is the answer engine optimization, made sense to me, kind of. And then
Mhm.
talk to me a little bit about the GEO.
Yeah, so it's the same. It's just what terms you're really using. It's it all
All
at
the
the end of
same.
at the end of the day, it's all the same stuff. It's whether you call it AEO, GEO, it's all focusing on the AI component of your overall rankings and things like that. And when it comes to the reason I mentioned framework is I think that comes down to your business too, and just setting the framework and the baselines of what do you want to do, how do you want to help people. I think in general, coming up with that first and then deciding what tools are going to help you get there is probably the most important thing. There's tons of tools out there. I could spend thousands of dollars a month on AI related tools or automations and things like that. Is it going to be efficient and the best use of the money and time for my business? Probably not. So I think that's important to take a look at that.
We have other people in the comments saying that their caricatures were really cute too. And I liked mine too. But I
Yeah.
feel like, when it comes down to that, like I understand it takes energy, but here's the thing for me is if I'm going to sit and doom scroll, that is worse for me mentally than sitting there creating one of these little character things. So I like
I
that
wasn't
part.
saying I wasn't saying it's bad, and it's of course that's a fun thing. I guess if I were going to throw another bad thing out there, and it's in regards to creation, I think content writing, which you alluded to a little bit, I think people are using that to. I think it's good to use AI for ideas for different things. So I don't use AI to create a full uh, thing, but I think as long as you get it for ideas and then you start to polish that up and actually polish it up yourself, I think that's what's important. I think we're going to lose the creativity of actually creating things if we always use AI for everything.
Yeah, excuse me. I personally like using AI for brainstorming, like a sounding board, right? Like I like to come in and say, look, this is my idea for this product, this service, this aspect of my business, whatever that might look like, and put all the information in there and then say, okay, can you pull out 5 key points that I can really focus on, put them in an outline form for me, and it does that. And then I can go in between and make what I want out of it. Use that literally like we did. I'm going to really date myself like we did back in the old days in English class when we sat down and we had 10 minutes to come up with an outline, or 10 minutes to come up with a topic, 10 minutes to come up with an outline, and then the next day we had to come up with one main sentence under each of those things in the outline. And then the next day we had to build it out with 3 paragraphs under each one, right? Like we learned English this way. This is how we learned to create presentations, how to present our thoughts, how to organize our thoughts. And so I like to just use it for the very beginning to get that system down and then go back through and write it. And then afterwards, if I go back and read it, I'm like, okay, this isn't flowing. Can it be put together better? How can I rearrange this or plug it in a little bit different so it flows better? And I'll put the whole PDF in for it. And maybe it'll come out and take whatever I had as number 3 and put it up here as number 2 instead, and 2 down to 4, or just rearrange it a little bit. Just tweak it a little bit, but it's still got my things in there,
Yeah.
my thoughts, the way that I speak. And I think that that is so important to not lose that, because that is imperative to our authenticity in business. And Nicole and I really have been focusing on teaching people to get seen and get heard, but you've got to build real relationships, and you have to be real, and you have to show up real. And so that means not hiding behind your characters, not hiding behind something that AI aesthetically wrote for you. It means not removing all the ums from when you speak. Because if you remove them all and then you go sit down for pizza with somebody you met, they're going to say, golly, you say a lot. We didn't know this. No, just leave some things. Let's be human. Let's embrace our humanness, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts for us?
No, I think just in general, before you go and jump in and utilize every single popular AI tool that comes across your screen, make sure that it's, if you're going to subscribe or pay for it, there's a lot of free tools out there, by the way, or free uses of these tools to try them out. Before you implement it and start adding dollars to your expense sheet, I would make sure that it's going to be a good use of funds for your business and the direction that you want to go. So I think in general, just stepping back and planning, what do you want to automate? How do you want to improve things? Ask your team what different functionality they're doing within. I ask my team all the time, every single month that I meet with them individually. I ask them, what tools could we utilize to help your job become either more efficient, or what would be better for you to use? And I get their opinion on it because they're kind of in the weeds there on the different activities. So I think it's important to find that out from your team. And then start to look at the tools that are going to help them with that.
I agree. All right, everybody, I am going to turn on a commercial, and then we're going to stop the live stream first. Let me stop that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for Monday Morning Business Foreplay. We will see you back here next week, same time.
Oh, we're gonna network. Yay!